Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. I did say I was I think I did say that a while ago. I was going to start doing like 2 episodes a day. And yeah, I just feel like doing 2 episodes right now. Hold on, I got some notifications that I need to check. Okay, Instagram is checked. Everything else is checked. Cool. Alright, so I'm gonna probably do a relationship advice episode. Open up Reddit. Because I feel like reading people's stories and stuff. I feel like giving up some advice. So, anyways. Wow, it looked like the same one from last time. Hold on, let me read this. My boyfriend abandoned me when he found out I was sick. What should I do? Bruh, is that like, how is that such a, like, how is that a common thing? Like, besides that last episode, I have heard of stuff like that before where it's somebody will leave another person for being sick. And I'm like, they have no power over that. Like, let me drink some water. I need to have like some water before I get into this. I just don't understand that. I really don't. So anyways, she goes on to say, so I live in a state in the U.S. where infection rates are high, but my area has a much lower recorded rate. I've been sick since Monday. I've told everyone I've been in contact with so they could monitor their symptoms just in case. I haven't seen my boyfriend or anyone else in a week. No one's told me they have any symptoms. My own symptoms themselves are fairly mild: fever, shortness of breath, etc. But I woke up late. I woke up last night and had to go to the ER because I couldn't breathe. There's a shortage of tests, so I wasn't tested, but the doctor on duty told me to treat my illnesses as if I am infected and self-quarantine. I'm in mostly constant contact with my boyfriend the whole time, and he tells me to let him know if I need anything. I sent my boyfriend some money and asked him to pick up medicine for me in the morning. Since one, I couldn't even get out of bed, and 2, I'm not supposed to be outside anyways. Okay, it seems like it's like a okay start, but I don't even know. So anyways, the next morning my boyfriend sends my money back and tells me that even though he can literally just leave my medicine on the porch and go without touching me, that he was told by his friends not to go anywhere near me in case he gets infected. Even though I had spent the whole weekend with him prior to me getting sick, and he has no symptoms either. Am I justified in being upset that he left me with no way of being able to get medication? I don't know how to proceed. The person I love is treating me like I'm some sort of criminal. We've been dating for almost a year now, so I thought he'd even have my back a little. I appreciate any helpful advice you could give me during this trying time, right? Man, I thought it was going to be something like the other one that I had read. I don't know. I probably would have left it. Shoot, I probably would have been in the house with her. Cause that's the type of person I am. I'm like, ain't no sickness going to really like hold back from like the person that I'm like, that I'm dating or love and stuff. So that's who I am as a person. I'm like, I'm not, no. I'm like, guess I'm going to be sick too. I shouldn't be sick. I shouldn't have to put myself in that type of danger. But I'm a risky person with some stuff. So anyways, I probably would have left the medicine. I wouldn't do some stuff like that. It just seems like that's a little bit wrong. Yeah, it's like if you needed this medicine and things, then yeah, I would imagine that it's like, like it would be good for you to take it. So yeah, it's like if he just left it on the porch, it's like it ain't like he got to touch anything, or it's like he's coming in contact with anything. He just walks up. I mean, if he wants to feel safe, I'm like, if it was me and I was kind of like following in his footsteps, I would go to the house. I probably would have on some gloves, like disposable gloves, cover up my face. If I was like really scared of like getting this coronavirus, yeah, I would have just like covered up in things and then just dropped off the stuff. But I wouldn't have like been like, you know what, nah, like you're not gonna get any medicine from me. Like if you want to get some medication, then stop being sick overall. But yeah, I wouldn't do anything like that. I guess it is wrong to a certain extent, but I guess he's thinking like, I just want to be safe. Like I thought you had like some like terminal, because like that last one, the girl had like stage 2 cancer, And I was thinking something along those lines. But yeah, if it's like being sick, like a cold or something, yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm that person where I'm like, you know what? Looks like I'm gonna be getting a cold too. Especially if I like really care about this girl. Like I'm like, she gonna be sick, I'm gonna be sick. So yeah, that's not healthy, but that's just who I overall am and stuff. So can't help it. I'm just a caring person. But anyways, I don't know. Like I would say, like don't be mad, but then again, I'm like, dude could have just dropped the medicine off. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to say that you're wrong. Like, if you do want to get mad, it's your choice. But it's just, he's also trying to be safe. So it's like, I feel like there's like no right and wrong in this situation. But anyways, next one. Feeling very emotionally and physically isolated during this pandemic. Waiting for my corona test to come back, realizing the faults in my relationship with my with my husband. Yeah, I was like trying to read this thing, so them numbers and ages and stuff and the genders, I'm like, I can't do all that, trying to read all that. But anyways, continuing what they said, I've been isolated for 5 days now, waiting for my corona testing to come back. I'm normally the caregiver in my family. My husband and I have 2 young kids. My husband is off of work until we find out the results of my testing. Yeah, it's that's crazy how it's like a lot of people are out of work right now. But anyways, she goes on to say, my husband has become more and more angry and annoyed that he has to take on mostly everything around the house. Childcare, cleaning, general day-to-day things. I've been horribly sick and bedridden. I've gotten countless texts from friends and family and coworkers checking in on me. This made me realize that not once has my husband asked how I'm feeling. I'm clearly a burden to him right now. If I ask for help, I'm accused of nagging at him. It's like, that's not a reason to be upset at your significant other. Like, not talking on her, but talking about him. Like, you're mad that she's sick. And you have to, like, I just don't understand. Like, I feel like when 2 people get married, like, you guys are, like, signing something there. Like, when you 2 get married, like, maybe, like, the dating phase, like, have, like, some things to say. But I feel like once you guys then reach that step to where y'all are a family now, like, you guys are married, it's like there's no reason for you to be mad or, like, getting, or, like, I guess, like, in a joking way. Me, I would, like, jokingly get mad, but, like, not actually being mad that I had to, like, take care of the family and things. Like, I feel like that's, like, my time to, like, really prove, like, just in case if a future argument, like, happens, I don't want to display this, like, person that I am where I'm mad because I have to take care of the family. I feel like that this is, like, now my time more than ever to really prove myself as a husband and stuff. So, yeah, I'm like, I cannot get mad at her for that. Like, if you're sick and then you can't even get out of bed, you're like, man, people are seriously weird, man. They are seriously weird. So, she continues by saying, I'm starting to realize the whole in sickness and in health part of our vows isn't upholding in our lives. Yeah, definitely. But if he can't care for me now and show any empathy, how can we handle an entire lifetime together? And then she goes on to say, questioning everything, try not to let my mind spiral. I tried to talk to him about how I feel, and he gets immediately defensive and angry. He's raising his voice to me almost every time he speaks now. He seems to think that his time off is a vacation meant for playing video games and ignoring his family. Wow. That's like, you're married to a child. Like, I'm saying, like, I don't want to be that person to say that, but, like, you're married to a child. I mean, yeah, I'm like, during this time being, like, that's pretty much what I've been doing. But here's the thing. Here's the difference between me and him. Because I know people are like, well, how are you going to get on him for doing exactly what you're doing? See, here's the thing. I am not married and I do not have kids. So therefore, yes, I can play video games. I can act like a child to a certain extent. But if I had a family, that whole like, okay, well, yeah, like maybe I would try to have it where me and the kids are playing video games or me and the whole family together. But I'm like, wow. That is crazy, man. That's crazy. He's like mad that he can't play his video games. I'm like, bro, like he's how old did she say he was? 28 years old. There's no problem with you being like any age and stuff, but I feel like this would have made sense if he was like 10 years younger and stuff. But like you're 28, like you're almost at like your midlife points of your life. How are you? See, that's what I'm like, man. I don't like talking bad about people, but it's like, bruh, like your wife is sick. Like, show a little bit of sympathy, bro. Like, be there for your wife. Like, this woman can die the next day, and you mad. Like, he'll be that person. It's like he's like she dies, and he's like, really? You really have to die right now? Like, I'm going to Prestige anytime now playing Call of Duty, and you really have to just die right now. Like, he would revive her and be mad that she died. He's just like, really? Like, you couldn't have, like, waited until after all of this was all over with? Like, I'm on vacation here, okay? Like, I don't care about your, like, that's, wow. It's like, I really do hope, like, the day I get married, I hope I do not have a wife like that. I hope when we do say our vows, like, we actually do mean our vows. I know I'm going to mean my part. Like, I'm definitely going to be, like, I'm going to try my hardest to be a 5-star husband. But if she's, like, a 1-star wife, like, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. I feel like that's something where it's like, I feel like that all couples, like, before, and I don't know, like, maybe they already do that. But I feel like that, I don't know, it could be me where it's like, all right, let me rewind what I'm trying to say here, okay? Because I'm getting caught up on my words. I feel like that all couples should practice being married before y'all get married. Now, couples might do this already, but I feel like that there are some couples out there, if not all couples, they practice or they use their last few days being like boyfriend and girlfriend. Like they're just, yeah, that's what they're thinking of. Like, you know, oh, this relationship can end in any given moment, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like that there's like questions that you guys should ask yourselves before, like, you know, y'all get into this marriage and things. And so I feel like that there should be like a line where it's like, or like someday y'all should like talk about like, okay, do we love each other? Is marriage in the future? Is like spending the rest of our lives with each other in the future? All that stuff. And if you guys come to a mutual agreement, then yeah, I feel like, you know, y'all should continue on getting married. But if if this doesn't work out, or you guys disagree on some things or hesitate, I don't know, like, if y'all don't really see yourself being together in the future and things, then yeah, it's most likely it's probably good if you guys aren't in a relationship. It'll probably be bad for somebody in the long run. So anyways, then she goes on to say, I'm sorry if this is more of a rant than anything, feeling very isolated and alone. How do I voice how isolated and alone I'm feeling without sparking confrontation? How do I communicate with someone who doesn't want to be communicated with? Yeah, I'm like, that's then that was the end of it. I was like reading the last part, but it's like going over like it's like a small review and stuff. But anyways, you know, like, I definitely, like, I mean, it's, yeah, if he's getting mad over something like that, where it's like you know, you can't really help the fact that you're sick, then it's like, I don't know, I feel like that it's, you know, you guys should talk like about the future and stuff. Like, you know, what if something like this happens again, or how would you feel if this was you? You know, I'm pretty sure you guys like went over and discussed and talked about a lot of things, but I feel like that there should be, you know, there definitely should be some questions and some stuff that should get asked, like, you know, like, where do you see us, like, after, you know, like, years from now and stuff. I don't know, I really feel like that, you know, it's like, you know, if you want to continue the marriage, then, you know, continue, but I don't know, like, a part of me is just all like, it's not gonna work out if he's gonna act like this and stuff, and you can't even help it. Like, that's why I'm like, I'm thinking, like, sometimes, when people, when they act like that, when they're mad that the other, when the other is sick, then it's like they're all mad at them. Like, I'm thinking, like, maybe a part of them is like they're, like, you know, more so scared then then upset with the other. But it's like a lot of times, like when they be talking about this stuff, like I don't know, me, if I was scared, I would be trying to do everything I possibly can to help out, my wife and things. But I'm not gonna be mad at her playing video games, acting like a child and things. Like that's what it's just like, that sometimes I'm like, y'all gotta pay attention. Like, I mean, yeah, you obviously like can't see this stuff like beforehand before you guys get married, but I just feel like that this type of stuff should have been noticed like before marriage and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say she's the one to blame, but I'm saying like they're I'm not gonna say it, but I don't want to put it out there in existence. But I'm saying like I don't know if he's gonna be acting like that. I don't really see him, being married for long. Like I'm sorry to say that, but it's just to carry on like that and stuff. It sounds like that he wants to be. I don't know. It sounds like he wants to be alone. So I was like, if I was you, I would grant him those wishes. But like I'm, what do most wives do when they want to split from their husband? Go over to their sister's house and they just go stay there for some time. But or just go get your own place. But I don't know. Definitely when you are feeling better and things, I would bring that up and then probably like take some time, like put him in your shoes, like where he's isolated and alone and stuff when you start feeling better and things. So put him in that category and then see how he feels. And if he gets all mad about that, then it's probably best if you guys maybe, I don't know, download Tinder and then sign some papers, or sign some papers and then download Tinder. But anyways, next one. Oh wow, okay, so my husband was drunk, punched me, and gave me a black eye. I don't know what to do. Wow. This one, it's pretty long. It's a long one. I don't know where to start because it's like it says like update. Alright, I'm just gonna read the whole thing. So dang it, I exited out. Alright, here we go. Okay, so she says update. Well, I can't say that I didn't expect an overwhelming response to this post. With the quarantine, I haven't had much to do anything, and I'm busy trying to keep. Wait a minute. Okay, let me reread this. Let me reread this and things because it's like I confused myself. With the quarantine, I haven't had much time to do anything, as I'm busy trying to keep a busy toddler occupied. I expected to come back to maybe 10 to 15 responses, and I'm overwhelmed. I am trying to get through all of the comments and messages. I know it was stupid of me to start the argument at the supper table. I hadn't even intended it to be an argument really, but I recognized that I was nagging at him and nagged at him further over our son, and it was really stupid of me to nag at him to acknowledge our son knowing the mood he was in. I'm sensitive about that, which he does know, as my mom. I was like, what's a ma'am? But anyways, I was like hold on a second. But as my mom and dad ignored me as a kid a lot, they're great parents overall, but that really hurt me, and he knows that I just reacted. I plan to apologize to him about it regardless of anything. It's difficult. So this is like, so it's like a long update, guys. I'm like, when does the story start? Like, why did he punch you in the face? But anyways, it's difficult for me to leave, even just to cool everything out. I haven't really got any friends in our area. My family is either a drive or a ferry ride, or a train and a ferry ride, or a plane away. Dang, like what? Like, dang. I'm like, that's across the country. I'm like, that's like reading all of that. I'm like, man, just say that they really far away. Like, I was like trying to read that. I'm like, what am I reading? Am I high? Like, what am I reading right now? But anyways, I stay at home and we have a joint account. Plus, with this quarantine, I'm just not sure I could get out to do anything with people I know. I've forgotten that it was the friend's birthday today, and he's gone out to. They should have maybe put this update at the bottom. I'm all like, what is happening right now? But anyways, I didn't tell. So I got a text, or it's me and a friend of mine, we're playing cup pong on message, like freaking the iPhone message and things. But I'll have to return. I should just play it real quick. No, I'm gonna wait until after. But anyways, Oh wow, so I'm watching wrestling right now, and they showed I don't know. There's a wrestler. He this week just announced that he's signing, or he was like with another like wrestling company, but WWE just showed him and things. So I don't know. It's like it's not bad, but it just doesn't seem like it's something like WWE would do. They're probably all like, oh, it'd probably be hard to cut him out. They are trying to cut him out as much as possible, but anyways, continue on. So I had intended to talk. So wait a minute, I had forgotten that it was the friend's birthday today, and he's gone out to his again. I had intended to talk with him over his drinking as my first step, but I'm not able to now. Half of me is tempted to knock on the neighbors and ask to stay, even though I don't know them very well. I know there were a few comments saying this was fake, and I know it must seem like I'm terribly stupid because everyone always just thinks they'd leave if someone hit them, but it's truly just not that simple when it actually happens. Please be kind to people and think about what you are saying. Yeah, I guess like it would be hard, like especially if you love this person. Then it's like if they're drunk, then it's just then it's just like I don't know. It's like you want to like try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know if this is like a recurring thing. Like he gets drunk all the time and he's always like putting hands on you and stuff. Like and especially if he's like like being aggressive about it. Like I can understand like being drunk, you have like a touchy feeling, or you're like being like playfully aggressive. But there's no such thing as like playfully aggressive. But if you're like playing around and stuff, like you got her in a headlock and things, but you don't got her in like a realistic, like you got her in a full-on chokehold. Like no, you just got like her like forehead / like head like hair like area in the headlock, and you're like scream like saying "say uncle." Like, but if you're drunk and she ain't hurt, then okay. But if you full on hurt, like 3 bells go off, put both your fists up and gave her a good straight across the face, yeah, then that's probably a sign that you don't need to be drinking. So, anyways, hold on a second. So, alright, so this must have been where everything had went down. So, anyway, she said basically what it says on the tin there. We've been married nearly 4 years now. We have a 2-year-old son. My husband doesn't drink heavily often, but he does drink often. He's never been violent before, although right before Christmas, he also drank a bit too much at same friend as he was with yesterday evening, and he was very angry with the lot of yelling and screaming and slamming things. He apologized the next morning and everything was fine afterward. Yesterday, after he went over to the same friend and came back quite drunk and belligerent, I don't know. Anyways, tomato. We had a short argument at the supper table, which I regret, but I think it unfortunately set the tone for the rest of the evening. He was standing on the cupboard putting leftovers away, and I was standing at the sink when the incident happened. Our son was carrying the cat around. He kept saying, "Daddy, look at my kitty," and my husband was ignoring him. I said my husband's name, and he said, "What?" And I said, "Please acknowledge our son." He said, "I'm a little busy," and I replied that all he had to do was say, "I know, buddy." So our son didn't feel ignored. He turned, so that's probably why she was all like, she said that she didn't really, where she was like, when she was a kid, she got ignored and stuff. But anyways, he turned and said, "Don't tell me what to do," and hit me with a closed fist. Wow. That's somewhere you're like, wow, that's crazy. It's like to be mad over something like that. Like I was thinking like, he was just drunk and you were trying to calm him down and then he, but it's like, I don't know. Was he drunk though? Like that's the thing where it's like, probably something like that has always been in him, and then alcohol just like it could have been the slightest bit of alcohol, it could have been a lot of alcohol, I don't know, but that does not seem right. Yeah, that's not cool. I definitely would I don't know, that's almost like I feel like all women, and I know people are like probably gonna like disagree with me on like saying this, but I feel like all women need to have like a fighting background. Like you need to join like a boxing class, kickboxing, kung fu, something. Because no, I'm gonna tell y'all you guys a little. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about this Jennifer Lopez movie. I know you guys gonna probably think it's funny and stuff. But like, why are you out here just watching random Jennifer Lopez movies? No, this movie is pretty good. It has a good ending. It has a good ending. So, anyways, there's this Jennifer Lopez movie that came out, thinking like 2003, I believe, 2002, 2003. I think it was 2003. But anyways, so she had an abusive husband. Dude was crazy. Like, dude was like out of his mind crazy. The movie is called Enough. But anyways, husband's like mad abusive for no reason. She ends up taking their daughter, like escaping from him and stuff. And then I think he planned on like trying to get like child like custody and things. And so she was like going on this like ongoing battle with him and stuff. Like this man was trying to take everything away from her. Like she had to change her name, like going to hiding and all that stuff. So fast forward to the end, she ends up joining like some fighting class. And then she went to his place with vengeance because he ended up like buying a new place and things. And she went there for revenge. She's all like, nah, like you done been beating me up throughout the whole like hour and a half or 2 hours of this whole movie and stuff. Like, nah, she cut her hair, she learned the fighting thing. Like she was dope. She was dope. So anyways, so dude, like, I mean, when I say that this man was crazy in this movie, this man had like hidden guns around the house. So anyways, Jennifer Lopez, she sneaks into his house, sneaks in there, she goes and she ends up finding all of his guns, finding all the weapons, ends up hiding them all. And then so I think he ended up coming back home from work. And then she's like talking to him, but she's like hiding at the same time. So he's going around the house looking for guns and things because he's like, oh, all I just got to do is put a bullet through her head and stuff. Like crazy, right? So anyways, she hid all the weapons, like anything that he possibly can find, and then beat him down. At one point, he thought he had her, but she came up like she like straight just psyched him out, and then she ended up killing him. And then that's what she said, like, because he was all like, oh, I could just, call the cops and just be all like, oh, you broke into my house and was acting crazy. And so she already had came up with a story that was going to, like, fit and things, saying that she came over there to just talk about the kid and then he went crazy and attacked her. And sure enough, that's what he did. But he ended up killing her. And she was just like, oh, yeah, I just say it was self-defense and stuff. So anyways, yeah, that's, I feel like, what women need to do, especially with guys like that. Like, just know something about fighting. Like, watch you some fighting videos and things, and then, like, go and, go get you a punching bag, or, like, find something where you can just punch. Like, you could just even get, like, an old mattress, put it up against, like, the, like, wall or something, and then just, like, go a few rounds with it. Just have that be your workout and things, but you don't have to do that. You could just like stand in the area and just shadow box and things. But learn some fighting stuff. I encourage, like me, my thing is, I know people ask me like, well, what would you do if you had a girlfriend like that? Like, she was like boxing and stuff. I box with her. I wouldn't necessarily box her, but I would not be mad because I'm like, well, obviously she needs to know this. Like, well, I mean, like not for myself, but I'm like probably for other reasons and stuff. There's like a reason why she needs to know this. So I'm like, I'm like, that's the thing. I'm not going to be aggressive or abusive or all that stuff. But if she wants to prepare anyways, I'm like, go ahead, be my guest. You don't ever have to worry about me doing something like that. But if you want to learn some fighting stuff, who knows? This relationship might not work out. You end up going with somebody else, and then you gotta learn some fighting things with that person. So, but I wouldn't necessarily go and be like, abusive and aggressive and things. So, anyways, but no, continuing back, I just completely just forgot. I was like reading this. I wasn't even finished with it, but she goes on to say, I was shocked. Our son was watching and began to cry. I picked him up and I said, if you're going to come home like this, then you better. And he raised his fist to me again, said, yeah, you tell me what I better do. Wow. That man's crazy. Like, I definitely would, like, it sounds like you might have to have, like, an intervention or something with him, because it sounds like that man's a full-on alcoholic. Like, that's something, like, that's something that just doesn't need to be involved in the household and stuff. Like, that's, like, I definitely had to, like, sit down and talk with them on a sober day. But, yeah, that ain't cool. That's not cool at all. That's somewhere I'm all like, yeah, definitely. It's like, a lot of people are saying, like, leave them, but I'm like, I kind of have to agree with those people. Like, it sounds like that's what you need to do in things, because I'm like, that ain't cool. Like, it sounds like something that he'll do again. So I'm like, it's either you gotta like sit down and talk with them and be like, hey, you know, when you drink, it's not good. Like, and I don't want like our kid to grow up in an abusive household and stuff where he's going around like publicizing that oh yeah, my dad was abusive and was out here hitting us and stuff when he got drunk. He was an aggressive alcoholic and things. So that's something where it's like you don't need to that just doesn't need to be in the household and things. But anyways, then she said, I backed down. I was holding our son at the time. Afterward, he went to his den and stayed upstairs with our son. He fell asleep down there and we did not talk again. Nearly 5:30 here now. I'm not sure really what to do. It was all of a sudden like so sudden and confusing. He's not normally like this. Should I try to talk to him or just let it go and accept that it was probably a one-off thing and that I'd really make him angry by arguing with him? No, that is something that you don't just brush off. Like, I feel like that when you guys get married, like, you guys had like signed something, like, there should be no abuse unless it's playful and y'all are joking, then okay. But if you guys aren't, like, this man done got drunk and he done hit you across the face, this ain't something that you just brush off. Like, no, that's something where you just don't brush off and things. Like, even though I'm a man, but if I was like married to, you know, this woman and things, and she got drunk and then like punched me and stuff for no reason, and I'm like, no, that ain't gonna slide. I'm like, you definitely gonna have to like stop drinking and things. I won't be aggressive with her and stuff, but I will probably try to like grab a hold of her and just hold her and be like, hey, you need to chill out and things. Like, stop that. There ain't no reason for you to be getting this drunk and then out here trying to start fights with people or hitting me across the face and things. Like, that's not cool. I definitely would, like, I wouldn't have put, like, I don't know, I wouldn't have hit her, but I definitely would have just, like, grabbed a hold of her and been just trying to, like, hold her and calm her down and things. But, like, hey, like, you need to relax. Like, hitting me across my face and things all because I'm telling you to acknowledge our child. Like, no, that's not cool. Like, I'm not going to be disrespecting and things. So I'm like, that's something where I'm like, I definitely would have checked her and let her know, like, that ain't going to slide. So yeah, when she would have gotten sober, I'm like, that's something where I'm not like, oh, you know, she was just drunk. There was just a one-time thing. This doesn't happen all the time. I'm like, no. I'm like, as soon as she got sober, I'm like, so yeah, Miss Alcoholic, hit me across my face for no reason, all because I told you to acknowledge. Like, that's the thing. People, they'll probably be all like, they'll probably think I'm coming off as aggressive, but I'm like, no, I'm just letting you know I don't want to be disrespected. That's something that it's like, it's not going to slide with me. I'm not going to be cool with just you punching me across my face, because if our child is wanting you to acknowledge them and then you just like ignoring them and stuff, like, no, that ain't cool. It's not cool at all. Then yeah, I'm like, if I was you, I'd check him. Like, but definitely learn some fighting stuff. So like, in case if this does happen again, duck, dodge, swing on him. Like, seriously, that's the thing. I'm like, there's some of these women out here, they scared to like fight back. But honestly, I would be like, you know, if I was like that, I wouldn't blame my wife if she did some Jennifer Lopez stuff on me, where she, you know, ended up beating me down and things. I wouldn't want to get killed, but I'm saying, like, if she did, like, straight just, like, savagely beat me up, then I'm like, oh, well, I deserved it. It's like, I deserved it. So, yeah, but yeah, that ain't cool. I definitely would check him on that and stuff. So, anyways, wait a minute, what? Let me read this one, and then I'm probably going to call it a day, because the title of it is just crazy. This quarantine has revealed that my roommate uses the dishwasher to clean their sex toys. What in the... What? I'm like, hold on, do I still got the app? I think I still got the app, guys. Hold on. Because if that was me, I said, if you don't get your mother sex toys out of this dishwasher, I'm going to go off, okay? I will. That is not Normal. Not at all. That is crazy. That is without doubt the craziest thing ever. If I had a roommate and he or she, okay, was doing that, I'm like, no, you gotta get that. Like, fine, go outside, clean it off with the hose, but if we have like 2 sinks in the house and there's a sink that I don't use, I'm like, okay, but the dishwasher, okay, or the dish area where we clean like our dishes and things, I do not want your bodily fluids, okay? I need to know, okay. So let's just read this. So my roommate, so it's a man that she's talking about. Wow. That man got a sex toy and he's like having his bodily fluids like get across. Like, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Like, honestly, I'd be like, no, you keep all those dishes. I would have bought like a bunch of like plastic utensils and a bunch of plastic plates. But I will not eat off of any of those dishes again. In fact, I think I would honestly try to find a new place to live at. I'm like, you can keep this place, but no, keep everything. So anyways, she goes on to say, my roommate Kevin she like quote unquote Kevin, his real name ain't Kevin. So let me get like a water break real quick. I need some water before I read this. Okay, so man, it's like WWE, they really showing like old like reruns of shows and stuff. Just so, like, that's why I'm like not really getting distracted, because they showing a wrestling match that happened like freaking, they said 2014. So yeah, like 6 years ago and stuff. I'm like, it's crazy how it's been 6 years of this wrestling match, but at the same time, I'm like, dang, it really has been 6 years ago. That's just wild to think that like wrestling. That's the thing. Wrestling never ages. Like, that's the crazy part about it. But anyways, so she said, my roommate Kevin spent nearly the whole of yesterday in his room, but he came out of his room to make us some food, and he started to cook food in the kitchen. He then placed the utensils and cutlery. Cutlery? What? I don't know. He used in the dishwasher. We ate, and then he went to dry and put away the things in the dishwasher. I got up and wanted to get some juice. As I walked past to go to the fridge, I noticed 2 dildos on one of the racks. Wow. Like, I heard of like wow. That's something where it's all like, nah, bro, are you like pranking me? Like, what is this? What is this? So, anyways, reading what she has said. Of course, I'm hoping that, like, if you said Kevin just to, like, you know, like, it's like, if, I don't know, like, I want to ask, like, is Kevin a woman? Because if Kevin is a woman, then okay. But if Kevin is, like, what Kevin is, like, I don't hear too many women named Kevin. So, like, if this is a man, I'm like, wait a minute, what? Okay, it's bad enough that you, like, well, I mean, I don't know, like, people can have whatever they want in life, but I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't even tell me what you're doing, because I have a feeling of what you're doing, but what is this? Like, why am I seeing this right now? So, of course, as a sane person, I lost it. Kevin was confused as to why I was upset, because he has been doing this forever. I have lived with Kevin for 2 years. Kevin thinks it hygienic and normal. He doesn't seem to understand my outrage and shock. Like, I have been sipping juice, eating out of plates, and Cody with his million love bodily fluids. Yeah, that ain't cool. So, how do I convince / explain to a grown man that you don't place your sex toys in the dishwasher? You just flat out tell them. That's something that you don't do. Like, we're eating off of these dishes, and your bodily fluids swinging around in that dishwasher, hitting the fork that I gotta put in my mouth, no, oh my gosh, like, my mind, it's like, not even sitting here thinking, like, no, this man, like, you're, like, because if, I don't even want to, like, be, like, nasty or gross about this, but if he's using, what other reason you're going to be, you know, using them and stuff, but, like, bro, you are putting these sex toys in an area where people, you don't look. I'm like, don't put your like, don't do that anymore. That's something. I'm like, that's stopping today. You can, I don't know, maybe clean them in the shower, possibly clean them in the toilet. I don't care. But the dishwasher and the area where we wash our dishes is off limits. It is off limits. Like, that's I'm all like, is there a second sink in the house? Because I'm like, that's just not normal. That's just not. Why would you even? I ain't never even heard of something like that. Like, that's not normal. So she said ETA. What does ETA stand for? Before, I ain't seen this numerous times. Like Reddit. Estimated time of arrival. I'm pretty sure that's not what that means. There's a subreddit. Edit to add. Oh, okay. Edit to add. After my billionth time explaining why I'm upset, Kevin says, get this. I always rinse it before putting it in the dishwasher. I'm like, bro, I don't care. You are putting sex toys in the dishwasher where we are using these plates, forks, spoons, knives, bowls, and any other thing that you can put in a dishwasher. You are putting your sex toys next to these stuff that we use to put in our mouths. Or if some food is really good, we lick the plate. And guess what? What's going through my mind when I'm licking this plate? The inside of your body, okay, that shouldn't be on plates, is on that plate, and I am licking that stuff. I don't care how clean and sanitized you clean it. It's not. It's just, at that point, the plate has been damaged, and I don't need it anymore. So, anyways, I always rinse it before putting it in the dishwasher. Then she said, this MF wants to kill me. All this time I'm sitting here worried about Miss Corona the viruses. But it's she's all like, or he, whoever and stuff, whoever it is, but it's Kevin Juices that's been trying to kill me. Then they put edit to add again. Kevin has agreed to wash his sex toys in the bathroom sink from now on. I showed him how cleans mine. Tomorrow I will be following and watching every move Kevin makes, cause what else has this man been doing to me? Final ETA, edit to add. I've gotten a lot of DMs with the same question. Kevin is a white man and I am a black woman. Okay, so yeah, then that would explain. I mean, I didn't even really care about race. Like, overall, anybody's reaction should have been the same. Whether you were white or whatever. Like, I'm like, I don't care what race I would have been. I'm like, I would have had to confront Kevin on this one and been like, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. So, yeah, Kevin's out here living foul and stuff. Like, I don't care what you do behind doors. Just don't bring that to me and stuff. So, I have known him for 12 years, lived together for a little over 2 years. Kevin is a bisexual man. I, a heterosexual woman. This post has gotten back to Kevin, and I have been very amused by it. Lastly, I've noticed all y'all homophobic, biphobic, and genuinely hateful comments, and honestly hope Koro catches you. Yeah, that's somewhere I'm all like, nah, bro, that's not gonna slide with me. Like, like I said, I really don't care what a person does behind doors, but I'm like, just don't bring that type of attention towards me. I don't need that type of stuff to be in my life. I don't need that type of stuff to be around my dishes. So therefore, I would have had to confront Kevin and been like, you know what? You're going to have to clean these. There's a water hose outside. Watch them. Like, you know, you could get a bucket. You don't even have to, like, have it where it's, like, out and everybody's seeing it. Get a bucket. Get some soap. cover your body over the bucket, pour some water in there, and then you just clean it, okay? And then you dump this bucket, and then you could do whatever you want. But I'm like, I don't even know. I'm like, that's on my, like, you saying, like, clean it in the, like, bathroom sink. But I'm like, is there 2 sinks? Because I'm like, I don't even want that to be cleaned in the sink where I gotta wash my hands. Like, that's something where I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't feel comfortable with that. So, therefore, yeah, Kevin, definitely would have to do something about that. So, anyways, I want to read this next one. This next one seems, well, how long have I been reading? 45? I should just, I'm just going to do this for a full-on hour. I got nothing but time. So, anyways, so I'm going to read this next one. I made my wife go full berserk. Okay, so let's just see what's going on in this one. How long is it? It seems long. Oh, it's not that long, but anyways, status: together 10 years, married 3. Okay, so you married your high school sweetheart. That's cool. Short background: I'm staying home because of Corona. Wife is working from home, customer service. She hates it. Things aren't working out with the equipment she's been given by her work. She's frustrated and angry with her when her shift ends. Situation: to calm her down, I propose we go to one of our favorite places for lunch, Restaurant X. It's a 30-minute ride there, but if it makes her happy, it's no issue. I put her daughter into the car and recall that she also needs to eat. We'll fix it when we get there. There is a Restaurant Y where she can eat, so no problem. I honestly thought that the restaurant's name was Restaurant X. I'm like, that's all. I was thinking in my head, like, that's such a dope name, but no, that's like example names. Like, you don't want to reveal the restaurant's names and stuff. But anyways, yeah. So when she can eat, so no problem. So we get in the car and I say she needs to eat, but we'll fix that at Restaurant Y. Coincidentally, we also have Restaurant Y 2 minutes from where we live, from which she believes I'm talking about. She says perfect, then we go and get drinks there as well. We begin riding. As I pass Restaurant Y, she remains silent. When we've driven half the way there, she asked, why didn't you stop? She said, why didn't you effing stop at Restaurant Y? We're getting drinks and food. We are getting drinks in her food. I explained that the one by Restaurant X so we can eat at the same time. Like, I've had the worst effing morning. So she's saying that I've had the worst effing morning. I'm tired, annoyed, and thirsty, and you can't even provide my most basic needs. I explained that I had no idea she wanted the drinks now. She never said. I'm supposed to know that, of course. After this, she's basically thrown herself out of the car on the side of the interstate to walk home. Wow. She's like, that's some crazy stuff right there. I've been like, what are you mad about? Like, I mean, okay, like, we can go in there and get drinks. Like, see, that's the type of stuff where if a person, they just being dead silent and they're not overall telling you the problems, how am I supposed to know? Like, that's what I'm all like, no, I don't like playing the guessing game. I'm like, and it's like, yeah, 10 years with each other. I would imagine that, you can tell me things. Like, you can tell me, like, if you wanted to go out to this restaurant, I could have did a U-turn. We could have went there, got drinks, called it a day. But I'm like, that's what I'm all like, yeah, that's not normal. That ain't normal at all. I'm like, I definitely ain't been like, then she's that mad where she's like walking home on the side of the interstate and stuff. I'm like, I definitely would talk to her and stuff. So anyways, he says, question, have I handled this poorly? No. You were confused just like anybody else would be. If it's like, if she remains silent toward, like, and you guys pass by this restaurant, then you guys get halfway down and then that's when she's like going off and things. Yeah, like you didn't know. So therefore, should I have been more clear on which of the restaurants I meant. Is it up to me to ask if she wants the drinks now or not when we're eating? No, she should tell you, like, oh, okay, well, I want to, like, she should have been, like, when, like, driving up or when you guys, like, originally went past the place, she could have been like, oh, I thought you were going to that restaurant. Then I'm like, oh, yeah, if you want to go there, then, you know, or I'd been, like, talking to her. Or I've been talking to her about like, oh no, there's another restaurant, or the same restaurant by the restaurant for our kid and stuff. So it's like we can just watch that or watch. I'm getting distracted by wrestling and stuff, but we could go to these other restaurants and things. But if she really wanted to go to that restaurant, I'm like, oh okay, yeah, we could go there too. Did a U-turn. Went there and then, just went on the drive, had like a little conversation. Overall, I felt like how she acted was just a little bit of a like overreaction and stuff. So so he said, this might seem trivial. I don't know. But anyways, but things like this cause big, I'm going to assume that word means problems between us as she doesn't let things go. Edit clarification, different restaurants because our daughter can't eat dairy and wife wanted pizza. This is not our first time the wife has become mad and thrown a tantrum over small things. Edit to update, turned around and picked her up. She wouldn't get in for 20 minutes. When she does come in, she's screaming and crying, hitting me, spitting on me, talking about suicide and how she can't spend life without me. Completely shaken, I've driven home and calmed her down so she doesn't do anything rash. Wow. That's on my like, I feel like that's just a little bit too much. I'm like, here's the thing. I understand everybody is going to have a stressful day at work. I have had numerous stressful days at work. Even this last day at work and things, it was a little bit stressful and stuff. But here is the thing. That's why I'm like, when they come from somewhere and then that anger that they built up there and then they come home with that anger or they go to other people with that anger, I don't approve of that. So if the reason why she's mad is because of her working from home, that is your I'm not trying to like sound insensitive or rude, but I'm like, that's your job. Like, that's what you signed up for. If you don't like that job, find another job. But to get mad at me, hit me, spit on me, talk about suicide, you're over here throwing the worst tantrum of your life, all because we didn't stop off at this restaurant to get drinks. That's something where I'm like, I would have had to, I had to say something. I'm like, you're getting mad over what? Like, I'm like, that just doesn't even make any sense. Like, it seems like you guys are close. Like, you guys have known each other since high school. Like, you guys, high school sweethearts, got married, had a kid, and all that stuff. So it sounds like you guys are going to be spending a lot of time with each other. But to do some stuff like that, I'm like, no, that's not normal. That's not normal. And she sounds like she needs a therapist or something. So, current status is no apology from her, even though we talked about it. Said I won't tolerate her behavior that she displayed in the car on our way back. Sleeping at my mom's tonight because, frankly, I don't want to be around her at the moment. He said ATM, so I know what ATM stands for. Edit, clarification, my daughter is with me. I didn't leave her with my wife. Yes, my wife knows what I mainly use this Reddit for. She's fine with it and find it funny and quirky. Edit, wow, this is absolutely blown up. I want to thank you guys for support and encouragement and interest on the occasional humor. It means a lot, and I take all the things in consideration, even if I don't respond to everything. I'm going to save this post because I want to see if he does. Like, I need to go back and check the other ones, but yeah, you did the right thing. You talked about her with it. I feel like, she does need to apologize, but I feel like that definitely, I don't know, I would call and check up on her and stuff. But it's it's kind of weird how people act like that. And I'm like, what, for what reason? Like, you're mad over me not stopping off at this restaurant when you very well could have said something. I'm like, you weird person. I'm like, after 10 years of the relationship, I'm like, the thing is, I'm like, I'm not going to be rude, but you are going to get the real side of me. And that real side is going to be like, okay, so you couldn't have said that like prior beforehand. You going to wait until I get halfway away from this place. And then, or halfway closer to whatever place we're going to. And then that's when you decide. Tantrum in 3, 2, 1. Why didn't you stop here? We could have got drinks. Like, you're throwing a tantrum over something, and I'm like, I didn't even know. So that's why I've been like, you should have said something. Hopefully in the future, I've been like, oh, like that's why I've been like, I probably, knowing me, I wouldn't have never let that go. I would never let something like that go. Every time when we would have been talking about this whole restaurant adventure thing where we're going to different restaurants, I have been driving slow. I'm like, okay, like that's knowing me, I would have did some petty stuff and be like driving past the restaurant. I would have turned into the restaurant, driving around the restaurants. Are you sure you don't want anything here? Okay, I am proceeding to drive to restaurant Y and restaurant X. Okay, to go, yeah, we're going to these restaurants right now. All right, I am at the red lights. The light is still red. The light is green, driving further away from the restaurant that you threw a tantrum over a while ago, driving even further away from it. Knowing her, as I had been saying all of that, she was all like, I wanted to go to that restaurant. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's just no win-win situation. There's no winning in this situation. Like, all right, well, knowing me, I've been like, you know what, because I know where this headed last time, I wouldn't even have said anything. I just turned around and went to that restaurant, and I said, all right, well, we're going here. I ain't going to have this lead into no argument or anything, or you throwing the tantrum. We're just going to go to this restaurant because you obviously want to go here and get drinks and stuff. So anyways, yeah, I'm like something like that. I'm like, girl, you're gonna have to talk to somebody or like, you know, explain and things. But anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. This has been another episode of the TMossBoss Show. I'm over here getting distracted by wrestling because I don't even know what they're doing right now. One's wearing like a unicorn costume and the other one's like got like a unicorn thing on his head. Think they're like pretending to be some other wrestlers and stuff. But anyways, yeah. Talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on a podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. And if you are purchasing tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching and or listening, and peace.